I wanted to teach you a little bit more about the three different dosha types in Ayurveda. So I'm going to do a three-part series here, focusing on the different energy types, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and explain to you a little bit more about each of those dosha types so you can help to decipher which type you are. Knowing what type you are will allow you to figure out the different types of foods that you should gravitate towards to help to keep your body in a balanced state of being. And actually, it's not just the foods, it's just different activities and exercises, breathing methods or techniques, different things that we can do to help our body stay in proper alignment for our own individual constitution. So when we're looking at these three different energies, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, they are comprised of the five elements: earth, air, fire, water, and space. Vata energy is space and air. So it tends to be dry, cold, and irregular or variable in its energy. So to summarize this for you, I found this great article from my schooling that I had gotten a few years ago. And I think it's just a pretty concise way to explain the different energies. So again, this is going to be a three-part series. I don't want to over inundate you with information, but I find that this is useful for you again in discerning a little bit more about preventative maintenance for your body. So Vata type of people are usually thin, they have trouble gaining weight except when they overeat fanatically, which they may do to help stabilize themselves or to provide more energy for the next round of activity. Their bodies are usually narrow in the shoulders and hips, and their joints often make a cracking noise when they move them. They tend to be fidgety, and fidgeting, like obesity, runs in families. So that's another thing with our dosha type is, generally speaking, we're going to be a bit of our parents' energies, as well as a part of the season that we're conceived in will affect our dosha type. Vata people are dry. Their skin usually chaps easily and is prone to corns and calluses. Their hair tends to be coarse, dry, and curly. Vata people suffer from cold and often complain of poor circulation in their extremities. Their skin is usually cool or cold to the touch. They sweat little and love to be love to be out in the sun. I was going to say put out in the sun, like you're going to stick me out there. Their appetites are irregular, and their love for excitement tends to lead them into irregular food habits, which worsens their digestion. They usually suffer from or have suffered from chronic constipation due to innate astringency. They love soupy, oily, hot foods, but always tend to go to extremes over their food, either indulging in cheesy casseroles and heavy, hard to digest items, or denying themselves all heavy foods. They are prone to rapid fluctuations on their energy levels. Their energy comes in spurts or bursts. They often try to sustain this energy with pungent stimulants like coffee, rather than admit to themselves that they are tired and need to rest. For a short while, they can maintain a level of truly frenzied activity, but exhaustion inevitably follows, which they may not recognize until utter fatigue forces them to rest. Vata people often have difficulty with sleep. Either they have trouble falling asleep or they evade insomnia by maintaining a high level of exhaustion that whenever they do permit themselves some rest, they sleep as if dead. They tend to feel pain more intensely than do other types, and loud noises are also less tolerable to them. Their nervous systems seem to have less insulation than necessary. A Vata's innate drive to avoid pain may manifest as fear. Vatas adore oil massage because it helps soothe and quiet their active nervous system, which reduces their nervous sensitivity and therefore their pain, physical or mental. Vata people live erratic lives because they find great difficulty in creating routine. The bitter taste makes them eternally interested in tinkering with themselves and their environment. If changeability characterizes most of what you do, then you are Vata predominant. And some other characteristics that I know about Vata people, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but they tend to be usually very tall or short and more on the thin side. I know I had mentioned more on the thin side. Most structural abnormalities like scoliosis or bow legs are because of the Vata energy. Vatas tend to be dark or tan well and do not easily burn. They generally do not have a lot of moles or wrinkles, and they have hard, brittle nails. And I think that pretty much encompasses most of the main qualities. Another thing with them is that for anger levels, they typically will bottle it in and hold it up and then just completely explode. And then just that fast, they go right back to a peaceful state. So again, it's that variable energy that we would associate with the wind. You know, it comes and it goes and it blows sometimes and it doesn't. And that's just like the Vata energy. So again, hopefully this is a little bit more enlightening. If you want to learn more about your dosha type or what this really means to you, feel free obviously to Google. There are free dosha type quizzes available online. But again, these are a lot of the predominant qualities to a Vata energy. Me specifically, I find I am more of a Vata Pitta type of a person. And so we'll cover Pitta next time to give you a little bit more idea about that. But that is going to be more with the fire energy, fire and water. So feel free to check out the other videos that I've created here. I do my best to inform you more about Ayurveda, how to help your body from a preventative medicine and maintenance standpoint. And then I also throw in things about ticks and Lyme disease because I struggled terribly with that for 7 years before I actually got a diagnosis. And it has taken me 5 years to get better. But in the course of the 5 years, I've learned how to heal my body. I've learned a lot about helping others heal their body. And I'm happy to be here to share this information with you. Again, feel free to follow me for more tips. I do my best to update my information, probably 2 or 3 times a week to give you some new tips to think about in helping your body stay healthy. Take care.